Hello, my name is HanK. I'm new to doing this YouTube process, and I kind of find it kind of invigorating to do this. It has actually opened up a lot of gates for conversation with other people that I normally wouldn't engage in talking with, for the mere fact I don't know them. But today I was sitting at an appointment that I had, and the conversation led to us discussing December 6th, 2012. It's a significant day for designated people, but for me, it kind of opened up my eyes to different views of how people are treated. So, on December 6th, 2012, there was an event that took place with Erica Kinsman and Jameis Winston. Now, evidence reveals that they happened to end up at a bar at the same time. By the end of the night, it revealed that Jameis Winston had sexual intercourse with Erica Kinsman. Now, this is significant because it actually ended up as a rape case. And I feel that there was no justice that was provided. And it's pretty upsetting because I'm a criminal justice major, and there were just so many holes in the entire situation that was not revealed to the public that kept the guilty party from being held accountable, Jameis Winston. So, I did a little bit of investigating, and there is a very accurate portrayal of what happened on December 6, 2012 between Erica Kinsman and Jameis Winston. A lot of people say, don't trust what you see on the media. Well, I verified the entire video that I'm about to share with you so that you could use it as an academic resource, because it's actually listed as an academic resource, meaning that it has been verified and the validity is substantial behind the information provided in the video. You can find the video of the rape case on what is called the hunting ground, and then at the end of it you put capital C dot MP4. I'm sure if you just Googled Erica Kinsman rape or Jameis Winston rape, you can find it. But the actual video is called The Hunting Ground. And the entire video itself is about 2 hours long. So the part for Erica Kinsman, the whole video is wonderful. And it provides a lot of information about different situations that typical people don't know. But for this one instance, I highly recommend viewing that. And if you're really interested, get into it and do your own research. But I'll go ahead and share with you what the video reveals. So on December 12th, December 6th, 2012, it was just before finals at FSU, Florida State University. And anyone that has gone to college knows how stressful preparing for finals is and can be. So you find outlets and ways to relax and, download. For Erica Kinsman, it was to go with her friends and, just have a good time at the local bar. She apparently had just turned 21, so she was legal. And she ended up running into Jameis Winston. Now, at the time, she didn't even have a clue who Jameis Winston was. So, by record, she recalls sitting at the bar, having a discussion, and then at a certain point, she admits that she felt that things were changing for her because she felt like she was incoherent, I'll say, not able to make proper decisions under the influence. And later down through the investigation, there was information that revealed that she had actually been drugged. So it goes from Jameis Winston and Erica Kinsman sitting at a bar having a discussion, and the next thing she recalls is being at a house or apartment and being in a room. Now, there was a statement provided by one of the other patrons that was at the party that had identified that he had walked in this very room where Jameis Winston had taken Erica Kinsman to have his way by doing sexual acts on her against her will. So they're in the room. Jameis Winston is engaged in forcing her to have sex, and a fellow walks in. His statement revealed that he had told Jameis Winston that what was going on was wrong. He needed to stop and get the girl home. The fella admitted that he left the room. Jameis Winston then proceeded to pick Erica Kinsman up and relocate her body in the adjacent bathroom where he could have more privacy and lock the door to prevent people to come out or come in. In that bathroom is where he engaged in forcing her to have sex. Erica Kinsman's statement reveals that she has no recollection other than snippets where she could recall people being around her. She does recall the incident where the individual walked in. She had asked the guy to help her, and the guy only approached Jameis Winston by telling him to stop, but allowed it to continue, resulting in Erica Kinsman getting raped. I'm sorry, fellas, but there is a law that states if anyone is under the influence, you are not legally authorized to engage in any kind of sexual conduct with that person. Now, that's one of the things about the criminal justice system that I'm studying, so I guess it depends on the lawyer at that point. But Erica Kinsman was made out to be a horrible, horrible person. She was criticized and ridiculed. I mean, right after the rape, Jameis Winston takes her back to her dorm on a moped. He doesn't even take her all the way because she said she was afraid of allowing him to know where she lives, where she might have that happen again. So she has him drop her off at a remote location and then walks herself to the hospital, where she proceeds to get a rape kit completed on her. Now, Erica Kinsman attempts to notify the school to get the FSU engaged to help out. At that point, Erica Kinsman had been identified as a liar, a cheat, and all this stuff. Whatever you could think of that people would call a person who they would think is trying to get over on a rich person or take advantage of a situation. So she goes through the whole harassment process to the point where she had to withdraw from school. Now, the woman got raped and was denied justice, not only by the criminal justice system, but by the school. Jameis Winston went on, as we know, to continue playing in the NFL, making millions of dollars. Erica Kinsman's life was completely restructured. She had to withdraw from school and restructure her entire life. She still is dealing with criticism, harassment, and whatever else you could think of when a person exposes another famous person. But it goes to prove that Jameis Winston's talent superseded the situation and influenced the outcome to the point where Erica Kinsman did not get any victim justice whatsoever. But Jameis Winston continued to go on with his career, went into the NFL, and in the season of 2018, Jameis Winston sexually assaulted another individual. This time it was an Uber driver. Apparently he was out and about having fun with his friends. Kind of a similar story, don't you think? There's kind of a pattern. He assaults a person, another individual, and it's gone. The NFL sat on it. You know, I don't understand. And the worst part about this entire rape case situation, yeah, Jameis Winston was found not guilty, but how many people actually knew that the investigator, Scott Ángulo, I think that's how you say it, his last name is spelled Angulo, Scott Ángulo, he was the investigator that took on the case. Now, he should have never been a part of the case for one reason, and that was because he is alumni from FSU. Now, tell me that is not of a conflict of interest right there. So after the report was made, the court case came in nearly 8-9 months later. The evidence from the rape kit, statements from witnesses, videos that follows the statements and can prove where people were at the time that they were supposed to be. And all this evidence, all these statements, all this video, pictures, was held by Scott Ángulo for over a year. He never released the evidence into court to be reviewed by those sitting on the jury. So all it looked like to the jury was you have Erica Kinsman, you know, a proud little schoolgirl wanting to do her thing, but happened to find herself in a position where she can be in the media. That's how it was presented to society, that Erica Kinsman was just trying to get in the spotlight. And old poor Jameis Winston was the victim. So instead of identifying Erica Kinsman as the victim, she's now the aggressor by society standards. So instead of people treating Erica Kinsman as the rape victim, they belittled her and denied her justice and victimized her a third time. I mean, she was victimized by the rape. She was victimized by, 4 times, the criminal justice system. She was victimized by FSU, and then victimized by society. And Jameis Winston continues to play football, making millions. How can that be? Why is that acceptable, society? Why are we allowing deviant acts to be the model of society? Do you understand that by allowing or accepting events like this, we dumb down our criminal justice system and make it easier for criminals act on criminal events or perform deviant acts. A great example is O.J. Simpson. I mean, come on. The man killed his wife. Everybody knew it. I mean, and he gets off scot-free. So, what can we do about this now? I mean, yes, the rape for Erica Kinsman happened in 2012. So what can we do about this today? I say anything that is affiliated with Jameis Winston, just don't engage with it. Discredit it. Hold him accountable. Put the label on him to make him accountable. Don't allow this criminal to walk amongst law-abiding citizens and victimize more people. Society is better than that. We got to draw the line at some point. We've got to say, look, enough is enough. I don't care if it's the NFL, NBA, I don't care if it's a politician, whoever. The ones that we are allowing to commit these acts are the ones that typically pave the way for society anyway. I mean, what do you think? I mean, is it acceptable to you that Jameis Winston was allowed to go free on technicalities because of his God-given gift of throwing a football? I mean, should he be given the right to conduct his business or activities the way that he has and go unpunished? I mean, it was pumped up to how rough and hard poor old Jameis Winston had it. You know, he grew up in a rough lifestyle and had a hard background to come through. God, who doesn't? You know? And there are worse cases out there today than Jameis Winston ever had. Yes, we can only approach those events one at a time. But giving a criminal pardon on his deviant act, I mean, he raped Erica Kinsman. Raped her. There's no questions about it. All the evidence is there. It just was not presented in the court hearing when the jury was supposed to be reviewing it because of the investigator, Scott Ángulo. That fellow was never held accountable either. That was brushed under the rug for the fact that he had held on to the incriminating evidence that would have had Jameis Winston locked up. I mean, had the evidence been properly presented as it should have been, Jameis Winston would not be in the NFL. His ass would have went to prison. But an FSU alumni had the influence on this situation to the point where a criminal viciously victimized an innocent person. Now, there's people far and wide that are aware of this situation that have tried to discredit Erica Kinsman completely. I've even seen people talk about her provocative dressing. The way that she dresses provocative is what one of the guys said. She was asking for it. No. Rape is rape. And when a woman says no, it's no. No is a complete sentence. There is no way around it. No is not maybe. No is not tomorrow. No is no. And Erica Kinsman told Jameis Winston no. And Jameis Winston went against her wishes and took advantage of her weak-minded state and raped her. But yet, you got people trying to discredit Erica Kinsman because they viewed pictures of her hanging out with her friends at another bar months before the rape actually happened. And because the rape happened, they're saying now that she asked for it because of the way she was dressing. Now, I looked at those same pictures that this individual is trying to claim is Erica Kinsman's fault because she asked for it. I looked at those same pictures. I'm telling you, she was not dressed in any more provocative manner than anyone you would see just walking down the street on a given day. She was dressed appropriately. All it is someone, this individual that I viewed, is trying to discredit Erica Kinsman so that Jameis Winston can continue playing in the NFL. Apparently, playing football is more important than the health and well-being of an innocent victim that got in the way of a big bully who decided to rape her while she was not in a coherent state. Technically, Jameis Winston should have gone to jail for even having sex with her because she was under the influence. But that was never even brought up in the case. That was never an option to hold him accountable. No, it was brushed under the rug, and Jameis Winston continued his career in football. Yeah, he did a wonderful job, led FSU to a national championship, and earned his way into the NFL. What about Erica? What about Erica? That poor girl, I mean, fought to survive. People were going out of their way to locate Erica Kinsman, to harass her, going to her house, calling her, attacking her on Facebook. I mean, you want to talk about cyberbullying. That poor girl, and still today, has to face people bullying her. She can't walk down the street of her local town without that coming up. But yet, Jameis Winston got off unscathed and actually benefited. It helped get his name cycled through the media, and he gained interest. What team would not want to bring something like that in if they can exploit it to make it right? I mean, that's a money-making opportunity. And that is the reason I no longer watch the NFL. When they decided to allow rapists, people that beat up on their wives and girlfriends, and just in their conduct alone, where they would go, some of the players would go out, break the law, and then be released without punishment. They don't have to fear repercussions. As long as they are making the NFL money, that NFL's going to keep them free and clear. And that's what we're seeing. And why is that? Why is that acceptable? Why do we as society allow the NFL to conduct and manipulate, I guess, just you, me, and everybody else? Anyone that is interested in the NFL. They're allowing these deviant individuals to stay in a high-profile status, such as a professional player in the NFL, and they become the example for our youth. So when you see people like Ezekiel Elliott beating up on his girlfriend, or Ray Rice dragging his girlfriend down the hallway of a hotel by her hair, and all these other events. Now, yes, Ray Rice was held accountable. That was one of few. And that was only because they couldn't get around it, because society made the NFL hold Ray Rice accountable because of how violent the attack was that he put on the girl at the hotel. But that's the only time that I can honestly say that the NFL engaged, and that was only because people like you and me said enough was enough and wanted justice. But then you get people like Ezekiel Elliott and other players that go around and black the eyes, break their noses, and just beat up on their significant other, and allowed to continue playing in the NFL as a good moral fiber example. So I think that the NFL has a lot to work on. I'm not even going to touch on them because I'm no longer interested in watching them or watching the NFL. But back to Jameis Winston. How can we allow a rapist? We know he raped her. We know Jameis Winston raped Erica Kinsman. But yet, people pay hundreds and thousands of dollars to endorse him, buying his game jerseys, attending some of the events that he sponsors. I mean, just random stuff like that. Why do we accept that behavior? I don't know. Maybe you can help me understand. I don't know, but I don't think what I know and think and feel is wrong. I think it's morally accurate, and I think it is more in line with the society's acceptance, or the way what society will accept. So I'm not thinking that what I feel is too far left or right. I just think that justice was not served, and a criminal was given a multi-million-dollar opportunity, and he still conducts himself in the same criminal manner. Same person, just making more money. And not to mention, he kind of starting to suck. So that's up to you if you want to follow Jameis Winston or not. I just think that anyone that's willing to accept the behavior and example that Jameis Winston has given society, I think that is unacceptable and rather narrow-minded, shallow, and it makes me think of a mindless sheep. I think that's a good terminology for that. I mean, if you're willing to accept it and follow someone like Jameis Winston, a mindless sheep, that's a good term for a person like that. Someone that can't think for themselves, that they just don't care. Going through life is like nothing matters. I don't know. I feel bad for Erica Kinsman, and I truly hope that she was able to move on with her life and find happiness. With my military experience and the things that I've gone through with the PTSD that I experienced, I still struggle with my issues. Could you imagine the type of PTSD that Erica Kinsman would have? I mean, the memory of seeing this fella on top of her, forcing his penis into her vagina against her will because she was influenced or under the influence of drugs and alcohol. Unknowingly, by the way, she did not willingly take any drugs. But Rufalin, whatever, the roofies, that popped up in the culture test for her rape kit. Along with other things such as a semen sample that identified the designated person I am talking about, which identifies there was sexual intercourse. And there are other factors in the case and the evidence that has been presented that prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that Jameis Winston got away with rape. Bottom line, people. So how are we going to handle this in society? You know? HanK, love ya.